Welcome back. Today we're exploring 3 fundamental exercises that can help maintain and build leg strength, particularly valuable for adults over 50. These movements address the muscle groups most important for daily function: walking, standing from chairs, climbing stairs, and maintaining balance. Before we begin, this is educational content, not medical advice. Always consult your healthcare provider before starting new exercises, especially if you have existing conditions, previous injuries, or balance concerns. Let me explain why leg strength matters and how these 3 exercises can support your functional fitness. Research shows that leg strength naturally declines with age, partly due to a process called sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass that begins around age 40. This decline isn't inevitable or uniform. People who maintain regular strength training activities can preserve significantly more leg strength than those who remain sedentary. Why does this matter practically? Strong legs support independence. They allow you to stand from low chairs without using your arms, climb stairs without excessive fatigue, walk confidently on varied terrain, and recover your balance if you stumble. The 3 exercises we'll explore today target different but complementary aspects of lower body strength: single leg stability and quadricep strength, hip and posterior chain strength, and calf strength with circulation benefits. Let's begin with the first exercise. Exercise 1, split squat for single leg strength. The first movement is a split squat, sometimes called a stationary lunge. This exercise trains one leg at a time, which is valuable because most daily activities, walking, climbing stairs, recovering from a stumble, requires single leg strength and stability. The split squat targets your quadriceps, the large muscles on the front of your thigh, your glutes, and your hamstrings. These muscles work together when you stand from a seated position or climb stairs, making this a highly functional exercise. Here's how to perform a basic split squat safely. Stand beside a counter, sturdy chair, or wall that you can touch for balance support. Position your feet in a split stance, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, about 2 to 3 feet apart. Both feet should point forward. Keeping your torso relatively upright, slowly lower yourself by bending both knees. Your front knee bends as if you're sitting back slightly. Your back knee lowers toward the floor. Lower only as far as feels comfortable and controlled. Many people start with just a few inches of depth. Pause briefly, then press through your front heel to return to the starting position. Complete 6 to 8 repetitions on one leg, then switch sides. Key form points: keep your front knee tracking over your toes, not collapsing inward. Your front knee shouldn't travel excessively forward past your toes. Use your balance support as much as needed. This isn't about doing it unsupported, it's about building strength safely. Start with 2 sets of 6 to 8 repetitions per leg, 3 times per week. As your strength improves over several weeks, you can gradually increase to 10 or 12 repetitions. Important modifications: if the split stance feels unstable, reduce the distance between your feet. If you experience knee discomfort, reduce your range of motion. Even small movements provide strengthening benefits. If balance is very challenging, perform the exercise near a corner where you can touch walls on both sides. For those ready for more challenge after several weeks of consistent practice, you can progress to an elevated split squat, where your back foot rests on a low step or sturdy box about 4 to 6 inches high. This increases the demand on your front leg. However, only progress to this variation once the basic split squat feels stable and controlled. Common questions: my legs shake during this exercise. Muscle shaking during challenging exercises is normal, especially when you're building strength. It indicates your muscles are working. If shaking is so severe you can't control the movement, reduce your depth or take a longer rest between sets. One leg is much weaker than the other. This is very common. Continue working both sides equally. The weaker side will gradually improve. You might start with slightly fewer repetitions on the weaker side if needed, but work toward equalizing over time. What you might notice with consistent practice: standing from low chairs becomes easier. Your legs feel more stable during walking. Climbing stairs requires less effort. You have better control when stepping over obstacles. These improvements typically become noticeable within 4 to 6 weeks of regular practice. Exercise 2, Glute Bridge for hip and back support. The second exercise addresses your posterior chain, the muscles along the back of your body. Specifically, this movement strengthens your glutes, hamstrings, and lower back stabilizers. Why does this matter? These muscles support your pelvis and spine during standing and walking. Strong glutes help you rise from chairs, support good posture, and protect your lower back. Many people experience lower back discomfort partly because these muscles have weakened from prolonged sitting or reduced activity. The glute bridge is performed lying on your back, making it accessible for most people and gentle on joints. Here's how to do it. Lie on your back on a yoga mat, carpet, or other comfortable surface. Bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart, about 12 inches from your hips. Rest your arms on the floor beside you, palms down. Engage your core by gently drawing your navel toward your spine. Press through your heels and lift your hips toward the ceiling until your body forms a relatively straight line from your shoulders through your hips to your knees. At the top position, you should feel your glutes working. Avoid overarching your lower back. The movement should come from your hips lifting, not from arching your spine. Hold this top position for 2 to 3 seconds, continuing to breathe normally. Lower your hips back to the starting position with control. That's 1 repetition. Begin with 2 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions, 3 to 4 times per week. As this becomes easier, you can hold the top position longer, work up to 15 repetitions, or add a third set. Important form notes: the work should be felt primarily in your glutes and possibly in your hamstrings. If you feel strain in your lower back, you're likely arching too much. Focus on keeping your ribs down and your glutes doing the lifting work. If you feel this exercise in your hamstrings more than your glutes, try positioning your feet slightly further from your hips. Modifications: if lying flat is uncomfortable, place a small pillow under your head. If you have knee concerns, you can place your feet closer to your hips to reduce knee bend. For those with very weak glutes initially, you can perform partial bridges, lifting your hips only a few inches off the floor. For added challenge after several weeks, place a small pillow or yoga block between your knees and squeeze it throughout the movement. This increases glute activation. Or, hold the top position for 5 to 10 seconds instead of 2 to 3. What you might notice with regular practice: reduced lower back stiffness, particularly in the morning. Easier time standing from low surfaces. Improved posture: you may notice you stand taller naturally. Better stability during walking. Common questions: should I feel this in my lower back? You should feel your muscles working to stabilize your spine, but you shouldn't feel strain or discomfort. If you do, reduce your range of motion and focus on engaging your glutes more actively. How high should my hips go? High enough to form a relatively straight line from shoulders to knees. Going higher than this usually means you're arching your back excessively rather than using your glutes. Exercise 3, Calf Raises for lower leg strength and circulation. The third exercise targets your calf muscles, the gastrocnemius and soleus muscles at the back of your lower leg. These muscles might seem less important than your thighs or hips, but they play crucial roles in walking, balance, and circulation. Your calf muscles help propel you forward when walking. They stabilize your ankle joint. And importantly, they act as a peripheral heart, helping pump blood from your lower legs back up toward your heart. This is why strengthening them can help with circulation and may reduce ankle swelling that some people experience. Calf raises are straightforward and can be done almost anywhere. Here's how to perform them. Stand facing a counter, sturdy chair back, or wall where you can place your hands for balance support. Position your feet hip-width apart, with your weight evenly distributed. Slowly rise up onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as you comfortably can. Pause at the top for 1 to 2 seconds, feeling your calf muscles working. Slowly lower your heels back to the floor with control. That's 1 repetition. Perform 10 to 12 repetitions, rest for 30 seconds, then complete another set. Work up to 3 sets, 3 to 4 times per week. Key points: keep the movement controlled and steady. Focus on the full range, rising as high as comfortable, then lowering completely back down. Keep your ankles stable, avoid rolling to the outside or inside of your feet. Your hands on the support surface should provide balance, not do the work of lifting you. The effort should be in your calves. Modifications: if balance is challenging, stand in a corner where you can touch walls on both sides, or perform the exercise holding a counter with both hands. If rising onto your toes is difficult initially, start with partial raises, lift your heels only an inch or two. This still provides strengthening benefits. For those with ankle stiffness or limited mobility, even small movements are valuable. Work within your comfortable range and it will gradually improve. For added challenge after several weeks of consistent practice, try single-leg calf raises. Perform the same movement standing on one foot, using your support for balance. Or, hold the top position for 3 to 5 seconds instead of 1 to 2. What you might notice with regular practice: improved ankle stability, which supports better balance. Easier time walking, particularly up inclines. Reduced feelings of heaviness or fatigue in your lower legs. For some people, reduced ankle swelling, particularly if you've been sedentary. Common questions: my calves cramp during or after this exercise. Muscle cramps can occur when muscles are working in ways they're not accustomed to. Ensure you're well hydrated. Start with fewer repetitions and build gradually. Gentle stretching of your calves after the exercise may help. Should I do these every day? 3 to 4 times per week is sufficient for strength building. Daily practice is fine if you're using them more for circulation support, but allow at least 1 or 2 rest days per week for muscle recovery, creating your exercise routine. Now that you understand all 3 exercises, let's discuss how to incorporate them into a practical routine. You can perform all 3 exercises in one session, or split them across different days, whatever works best for your schedule and energy level. A complete session with all 3 exercises typically takes 10 to 15 minutes. Sample routine: split squats, 2 sets of 6 to 8 reps per leg. Rest 1 minute. Glute bridges, 2 sets of 10 to 12 reps, rest 1 minute. Calf raises, 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Practice this routine 3 times per week, with at least 1 rest day between sessions. For example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. As you progress over several weeks, gradually increase repetitions rather than adding more sets initially. Once you're comfortable with higher repetitions, you can add a 3rd set of each exercise. Important principles: progress gradually. Rushing progression increases injury risk and isn't necessary for building strength. Quality over quantity. Proper form matters more than how many repetitions you complete. Consistency over intensity. Regular practice with moderate effort builds more strength than occasional intense sessions. Listen to your body. Some muscle fatigue during and after exercise is normal. Sharp pain, joint discomfort that persists beyond a day, or symptoms that concern you warrant stopping and consulting your healthcare provider. Realistic expectations. What should you realistically expect from consistent practice of these exercises? Within 4 to 6 weeks, many people notice functional improvements. Standing from chairs feels easier, stairs require less effort, walking feels more stable, and legs feel less fatigued during daily activities. Within 2 to 3 months, measurable strength improvements typically occur, more repetitions can be completed comfortably, deeper ranges of motion become accessible, and balance during the exercises improves noticeably. What you probably shouldn't expect: dramatic transformation in days or weeks, complete elimination of all leg weakness or discomfort, strength gains without consistent practice, or improvement without any initial challenge or fatigue. Strength building is gradual. That's normal and appropriate. The goal isn't rapid dramatic change, but sustainable improvement that supports your daily function. Who should seek additional guidance? These exercises are generally appropriate for many people, but some situations warrant consulting your healthcare provider or physical therapist before beginning. If you have significant knee, hip, or ankle pain. If you have a history of falls or significant balance problems. If you've had recent lower body surgery or injury. If you have conditions like severe osteoporosis, significant arthritis, or cardiovascular concerns. If you're very deconditioned and haven't exercised in many years. A healthcare provider can assess your individual situation and recommend appropriate modifications or alternative exercises if needed. Thank you for watching. The key takeaway is this: leg strength can be maintained and improved at any age with appropriate, consistent exercise. The three movements we covered, split squats, glute bridges, and calf raises, address the major muscle groups that support walking, balance, and functional independence. Start where you are. Use modifications as needed. Progress gradually. Practice consistently. These aren't magic solutions, but they are effective tools for maintaining the leg strength that supports independent, active living. If you found this information helpful, let us know in the comments. What aspects of leg strength or mobility are most important to you in your daily life? Consider subscribing for more practical, evidence-based guidance on exercises and movement practices that support healthy aging. Remember, building strength isn't about achieving perfect form or maximum repetitions. It's about consistent practice that supports your function and allows you to continue doing the activities you value. Thank you for being here. Take care of your body through thoughtful, sustainable practice.